Oh, hello guys, and welcome to episode 17 of the Caged In podcast with me, your host, Petros Patsilivus. And this episode I'm going to be joined by Valentine O'Connell, who is a really good friend of mine, but we get into that once, It's just, we recorded this episode a couple of weeks ago, and it was a lovely, glorious day. Weather's just got better. It's fucking roasting here in Brighton. The weather is bloody lovely, and yeah, I feel like going forward, like this is the from this point on. So next week's episode 18 will be Dead Full. This one was Amos and Andrew, and next week's one, so the last like 5 or so I kind of recorded in about 3 to 4 weeks stint, really quick, like kind of got a backlog, and I've kind of lost that momentum, so I kind of had a couple of weeks off, and this week I've got to get back on it. I'm still trying to find a guest, so because I've heard that Deadfall is a really fucking mental one, so I don't really want to do it solo, but I should have something lined up, and as soon as I know who it's going to be, you guys will know, so don't worry about that. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone as well who entered the first Caged In competition. The winner will be announced today, which is Tuesday the 20th of June, so if you're listening in the future, which I imagine a lot of you will be, yeah, that would have been announced on Instagram, and you didn't have the chance to enter, and sorry, but maybe in the future I'll run another competition. I don't know, see what other free stuff I can blag. Again, massive thank you to the guys at Pitch House Cinemas, and especially the Duke of York Cinema in Brighton for hooking me up with those 2 free tickets that I can give to you guys. So, yeah, I'm really fucking hot, and I don't know, I'm probably going to have a Twister lolly and just have, I don't know, just not sweat loads. So yeah, the episodes coming up are going to be interesting to record, because if the weather is going to stay like this, it's going to add added pressure. It's going to not just be people enduring Nicolas Cage films, it's going to be people enduring heat, the added body temperature, like trying to talk, trying to be impassioned, trying to be funny, whilst battling with the glorious, glorious sunshine that is beating down upon us. But I'm sure we will power through, all in the name of, that is, the ridiculous nature of Nicolas Cage. So let's kick the theme tune and get into the fucking episode. Catch you later, guys. Feels like I've been awake for days, watching films starring Nicolas Cage. Could be shit or it could be fun. Valley Girl, Face Off, An Army of One, Deadfall, Cornell, Lord of War, The Wicker Man, Trespass, and so many more. Know how it starts, I don't know how it ends. The first 10 are solo, then it's me and some friends. No distractions, no expectations. Over the weeks, hear my frustrations. I guess the podcast is about to begin. I'm your host, Petros Patsilivus, and I'm Caged In. So, guys, today we are talking about Amos and Andrew. It was released in 1993, so I would have been 2 years old when this film came out. Yeah, never fucking heard of it. I'm actually joined by a guest today, who is a good friend of mine, Valentine O'Connell.
Hello!
Yeah. Ethan's just a friend of mine that I've known for a good few years now, and just like we've always talked about films, so I couldn't have thought of anyone better to get on the podcast to just, I don't know, join me on this fucking crazed journey. Like,
thank you for having me, man.
No worries. Yeah, so as always, ask everyone, like, have you seen this film before?
I've never even heard of this film before.
Oh, that's perfect. I'd never,
I would have been 1 when it came out, so
yes.
yeah.
So, like, I don't know, that's always a good thing. I've been chatting to a couple of people online about arranging episodes and stuff like that, and they've been saying like, oh, do I need to know anything about the film? It's like, the less you know about the film, it tends to work out for the better. Like, just because, I don't know, yeah. Some of these ones that I've never seen before have just been real funny. They've been real fun to watch. Yeah, like, I'll give you a bit of context as well. While we're recording this, it is a fucking glorious sunny day here in Brighton.
It's the right day in which to sit on your doorstep and eat a Calippo, mate.
Yeah, which we have done.
We have done.
We've done that, but now we are holed up in a darkened room. Like, I don't know, like a couple of weirdos. Like, obviously the blinds are closed. One, because you get glare on the screen, and two, just don't want the general public looking through the windows because it just looks fucking mental. Two guys talking into microphones in a lounge. I don't know. It just how fucking egotistical we would look from the outside. But yeah, like it's probably like time to quit the rambling, and we're gonna put our feet up, turn our phones off,
Yep.
and get raging with Cage.
Woo!
Right, so the film has now been watched, and it's like a little. We had a fucking adventure of our own.
Yeah, it took a bit of time for us to actually manage to watch this, didn't it?
Yeah. We had our own suburban nightmare, as it was, which will be explained in great detail what that actually fucking means. So I thought we'd lucked out with this one because I saw it was on YouTube, and I was like, great. It's like I could watch it. Like, I don't know how legal that is, but. Yeah, I thought, okay, great, we can watch this on YouTube. Started to watch it, realised the picture was backwards. So, left was right, right was left. The credits were facing the wrong way.
Started about like a minute in as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd whoever, the shyster, the old knockoff Nigel had put this online and cut off all of the like studio credits at the beginning.
I guess there's even more reason to try and get away with it, maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know, but...
I kind of got away with it.
Yeah.
And then, I thought we'd go even more illegal, just try and stream it online. That wasn't working. And the
Picture was literally 1080 potato, mate.
Yeah. And then I was like, great, gonna have to rent this film. Tried iTunes. Turns out my card details weren't right, so I had to update those, go try and do it on my laptop. What do you know? The internet just decides to have a fucking meltdown. It just went kaput. And we were pretty much sat for at least 45 minutes to an hour waiting for the internet to sort its fucking shit out. So we've had an ordeal before we even got into this film.
Yeah, it was an adventure within itself, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. So we were primed and ready for what this film had to offer. Like, I kind of before we like talk about the film fully and like dissect it fully.
Yeah.
I kind of at the end I kind of had like what I would put on the back of the DVD case. Like,
Okay.
I've never done this before. I just put like two unlikely foes end up becoming brothers in this suburban nightmare. Like, that's all you need. And like,
Yeah, I go with that. Yeah.
cool. Well, you had that. Like, let's get back to Well, first of all, did you enjoy this film, Ethan?
I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't anticipate on... I mean, we both knew nothing going in on this.
See,
We just looked at the main poster, and it's pretty much like a typical 90s buddy movie. Not necessarily buddy cop movie, but like a buddy movie with, Sam Jackson kind of posing on the front, Nicolas Cage looking like a bit of a bad boy as well, and like... what is going on here?
Yeah, so I enjoyed this as well. I fucking paid $7.99 on iTunes.
I hope you did.
So the pressure was on even higher. Like, most of these films that I've bought, I got for like 50p CX, or like I got them off eBay. They don't even come in DVD cases, but that's another story altogether. But this film, so it opens with what's the song that's playing?
Beyond the Sea.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Sam Jackson, he's kind of on a ferry boat with his car, like going over to an island. It's not really explained, but like you kind of get the gist of what's going on pretty quickly.
It's not massively explained whereabouts the island is, to be honest, but it seems to be, I guess it's kind of close to New York, I guess?
Yeah, man, it's like upstate New York, that kind of thing. It's like an affluent neighbourhood. Like you kind of see it looks, I've written down in my notes, it looks like an idyllic neighbourhood. You've got like you've got like a family living their life, a guy on like the sit-on lawnmower, obviously a sign that people have got money.
Yeah.
It's a classic sit-on lawnmower. Like, come on. Like, he's not pulling it, he's not yanking it up, trying to start that bad boy. He's got a little click key. I kind of felt like that though would come, I don't know, I wanted that to be brought back, that like sit on lawnmower. Yeah. I think that would be like a part of the escape, as it were. You see this couple, and you see him like driving through, and
you forgot, we do get a brief glimpse of Nicolas Cage before all of this, doing a handstand in a jail cell.
Yeah, and he kind of gets let out to like, let's say, that you've got one call. Like, I'm not sure, like, if that's supposed to establish that he's just been arrested, or...
Yeah, because I figured, like, you know, you get your one phone call and then you get put in your jail cell, but it seems a bit...
Yeah. Like, I don't know, it kind of seems like he looked at home there. He looked like he'd been there before. Like, I think they're establishing quite early on he's a bit of a jailbird. He's in and out of these places. But yeah, Sam Jackson, who plays Andrew Sterling. So yeah, I call him Samity Sam Jackson, Sam J, or we might just call him Sterling or Andrew. Yeah, like, we've put it out there of how we're gonna address him throughout this review breakdown of this film. He pulls up to the house. It's cut back between that and Nicolas Cage making a phone call, which finds out he's
trying to order a pizza to the police station.
He's a man after my own heart. I think if I had one call, like, sorry mum, like, but I'd be, sorry Emma, I'd be ordering a pizza. I love me some pizza. There's like an old couple assume, because they see a car parked in the driveway, that's Sam Jackson is going to be like their old friends who used to live in that house, not realising that he's the new owner. You kind of see a scene of the dog rummaging around in the bushes, and you notice a sold sign that's been knocked over.
Yeah.
And they instantly assume, because he is a black man in this affluent neighbourhood,
with a stereo in his hands.
Bloody hell, those racists. I don't know what was going through their minds.
I know.
These black people, they love their music. Probably that rap music. Fuck's sake. They're a couple of like busybody tossers.
Yeah, like one of them's a lawyer, the other one... Actually, is the woman's job rival?
No, I don't think it's their right. I think they just kind of... This is like their summer home.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're like, straight away, like, things go from 0 to 100, because they call the police, and they come out in full force. Like, as soon as they hear it's a black man in a house, they're fucking out there. They're armed to the teeth.
Yep.
They're like circling the house. You find out as well that the police chief is running for commissioner, which I feel like plays a big point in this film. You see like a billboard.
Yeah, I actually put that down in my notes as just Cecil Tolliver, which I believe is his name. I was just sort of like, okay, that's instantly going to,
so like,
later on.
It's kind of like, him running for commissioner plays a massive factor in this film, and so does fucking racial stereotype.
as you were saying, I'm not too sure if this film will get made today.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Like, the thing is, it's scary how relevant this film is in like the current like political or like, the last few years. How like cutting this film like relevant it is. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, stop being racist, guys. It's not nice. Love each other. One of the guys as well, like, I've written down my notes, the police are going overboard.
Yeah, even including Brad Dourif's character deciding to put mud on his face, which
again looks like politically very incorrect. It looks like he's blacking up as well. Yeah, it's fucking nuts. That's one of the things as well, is the like busybodies tell the police that they assume that the car that they saw past them was the car of one of the kids of the previous owners. So they're automatically thinking, oh shit, hostage situation. Not just a stereo loving thing.
Nope. Home invasion.
Home invasion, yeah, exactly. And then the press turn up as well, which I just got in my notes. Guy with mental eyebrows.
Those eyebrows, they look groomed for that. They're generally groomed like in horns. Like, it's
crazy old man brows. The police then get a direct line into the house and like trying to speak to who they think is one of the kidnappees, and like turns out that it's Sterling. They don't realise that. They're kind of at first like, someone tried to shoot at me. Like, oh my god, what's going on? And then it kind of clicks with the chief that, oh shit, we've been shooting at
an innocent man.
Andrew Sterling, turns out he's like an author, like
activist.
He's a real big deal. Like, not only is he like just a black man, he is a very important and like famous man in general. And they have fucked up. But like, instead of like this, for me, I thought I thought that was going to be the crux of the film, like this whole mistaken identity of him. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was kind of thinking like, oh, how does Nicolas Cage come into play? Oh, this is how he comes into play. Obviously, as I was saying, the chief is running for commissioner, so
he doesn't want to, admit defeat on this. He doesn't want to look bad, so he tries to set up
like a racist. Like...
Yeah, exactly. So he tries to set up like this whole scenario where it turns out that Nicolas Cage is the one who did the whole kidnapping and whatnot, and we start to see like a little bit more background into Cage's character too. Like, because they run down all the stuff about him.
That he's been locked up for. And
there's some
unsavory. Yeah, he's an unsavory character. Like, for a film that is predominantly, like, I'd say a comedy. It's like you fled with an underage girl. I don't feel like that part had to like. It takes his character from just being like, I don't know,
a lovable rogue. Maybe?
Like, like, I don't know. Like, as soon as you put in something like that, I don't know, it's like finding out the sticky bandits from Home Alone are child molesters. It's like, that's like, you don't have to do
hear
that. Come on, you've established they're bad guys anyway. Like, and he's kind of an anti-hero in this as well. So like, it didn't need the like pervert side.
No,
I'm not sure if that was like a stipulation from Cage, because he's a weird guy. Like, I don't know. It's like maybe he just went like, "Don't worry, I'll figure out this character. I'll bring to you what crimes he would have committed." Like,
I'd also noticed a tattoo on his arm, but at the same time, it didn't bring up any relevance later on, which was just a 4-ball that just says "play" underneath it on his bicep, and I was just like, "Oh, I wonder if that's going to turn up." Like, I even put it in my notes, but like, no, nothing.
All them tattoos just look like they're made, like, done in biro.
Yeah,
literally seconds before they started filming. Like, they look awful. So they send in. So their plan is, in a bit more detail, they say to Amos, that Nicolas Cage's character, they say to him, you will go in, pretend to pretend that he is your hostage, and then when we say like, come out, and you'll come out, you'll get on the next bus, and you'll hotfoot it over to Canada, and everything will be fine. Like,
Yeah.
you'll just be, like your name will be clear, basically. My name will be clear. You're fine. That would be fine and dandy, of course, but this film is an hour and 40 minutes long, so obviously things aren't gonna go to plan. So, Amos, again, like, to make him look like the guy who had shot at Sterling, he's then black-faced up, pushed into the house, given a shotgun, which is what you do to a criminal. You just arm him, send him into a house, make things dangerous for someone already. The logic, I think, as much as I enjoyed this film, logic was definitely left at the door.
Yeah.
And I think that happened in the writing room. I think, I think it's fair to say, the police, the police just resembled to me the police from, Police Academy or something.
Definitely just
bumbling buffoons, It was like a rogues gallery of idiots.
Yeah.
So he's pushed into the house. He tapes up Andrew. The actual press turn up because those busybody wankers.
Yeah, they're just freelancer kind of people,
No. Those the couple who live next door.
Oh yeah.
Had been like, this isn't enough. We want to know what's going on.
Yeah,
we're going to call the national news
while smoking weed, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like a weird plot point. Or they're like a real straight-laced couple, or are they?
Yeah.
They're DB in a way. So the press turn up, and then all I've got here in my notes, I'm not sure, it's not relevant to the film in any way, but it just cuts to inside the house, and Nicolas Cage is sitting on a dresser, but it's really fucking high. It's it's a good 3 meters off the no, not 3 meters. That's way fucking high. It's a good 2 meters off the ground. If that 2 meters quite high. I don't know. Yeah, it's a real high dresser.
Yeah.
But he's sat right on top, intimidating Andrew. He's poor guy, taped up. And then he looks on TV and sees that the chief has pretty much sold him down the river. Yeah.
And so now Cage feels like, right, I'm going to take matters into my own hands now.
This is a kidnapping.
Yeah, exactly. So, goes outside of the door, why is it that he has round Sam's neck?
I have no idea.
It's some weird, wire kind of thing.
It looks like a wire coat hanger.
Yeah.
With, those, like a plastic tubing on it.
Yeah. And so, has him to the front door, shotgun aimed at his head, and demands $1 million and a helicopter. Obviously.
Yeah. That's what every guy asks for.
Yeah.
He's definitely read the kidnapper's handbook. And then, it's very soon after the chief muscles his way into the house. And, drops the N-bomb pretty. He's like, we don't want this. I'm gonna say neighbour because it's actually got a little bit of backstory. Me and Ethan
avid hip hop fans.
Yeah, avid hip hop fans. Been friends for as I said. Friends for a few years, and we kind of joked about saying it's always that hard thing being a hip hop fan and wanting to rap along, but obviously being having a very liberal mind,
very
and obviously
woke.
don't want to offend nobody.
No.
I've always had the conversation going to rap concerts what are you gonna do? You're gonna sing along? Ethan came up with a great idea of.
I don't know if I definitely
No?
came up with this idea. No, I won't take full credit for it. But it's something that was kind of like made up of me and a bunch of friends that we just started saying neighbor instead. Actually, no, I think I do know. I might. No, I can't remember it right now, but I think I'm. Once I get the story right, I might try and bring it back up again later. But yeah, pretty much. So a friend of mine did kind of introduce me the idea of saying the word neighbor instead, because it kind of sounds a bit similar and it still does work within, within rhyming and whatnot. And so, yeah, and also it's quite a friendly way of saying the word as well.
Yeah, and obviously, like, doesn't have the same connotations, but
Of course, yeah.
And yeah, it's a little tip for your white boys out
Yeah.
there. Yeah, so he's like kind of flying off the chain saying, hey, we don't want this neighbour around here.
Yeah.
You just shoot him, it would be a good thing anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of turns out he's like kind of bluffing a bit. And then he kind of like apprehends Amos, gets him down on the ground, and then says, says to Andrew, like, sorry about that neighbour thing. Like, obviously I was just playing. And Andrew says,
Neighbour that.
yeah. While smacking him over the head with a frying pan, which
Possibly my favourite line in this film.
yeah, definitely.
It was amazing.
It comes up again as well.
If you can find a clip of it on YouTube, just go for it. Or just watch the film, to be honest.
Yeah, watch the fucking film.
Yeah!
Yeah, and what the chief doesn't realise is now that he has given Amos not one, but 2 hostages.
Yeah.
Because he's a fucking buffoon. Like, he could have just cut his losses and got out of this so long ago. He could have just took the rap and said, you know what, we made a mistake. We shot at a man's house who is not at fault at all.
No.
But no.
No.
They've digging deeper into the quagmire of filth.
I just realised something as well. I think it comes up around this time. We're like looking at my notes. They start showing some of the news reports of what's going on right now, and they show like different people. Like usually in films, like you see people like like reacting to news and stuff. And we see this great image of a character who's played by, for those Breaking Bad fans out there, the guy who plays Gus Fring.
Yeah,
is in this film.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Thank you. So yeah, he's in this, and he plays. Well, shall I say what you find out who he plays later on?
I know he plays like a kind of evangelical, like
Reverend
black church leader.
Yeah, who's very passionate and whatnot. And his introductory scene is him getting a manicure.
Yeah, manicure and a perm.
Yeah,
and he's like kind of like. Like, I told you you'd have a problem with all those white liberals out there. We're gonna have to come sort this out. Yeah, it's fucking great. It's like one of the best introductions in a film, apart from handstand cage in a cell.
Yeah, obviously.
And then Amos and Andrew go for a run, leaving the house empty with the police chief taped up inside. The buffoons outside have no idea.
Yep,
about this.
they still think that that Amos and Andrew are still in there. They get a negotiator in there to kind of talk to them as well.
Which is played by Bob Balaban.
Yeah.
Who's, just fucking great in this, like really understated. Just kind of his name's Dr. Fink.
Yeah,
and yeah, he's hilarious. So yeah, they go to the neighbour's house, which are the two busybodies, as like mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Their dog's there, and like Andrew's like, oh shit, it's that dog from earlier. Like, fuck. And then it's kind of a surreal scene of like Amos trying to get him to shake the dog's hand.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's kind of like. He's like, oh no, I can tell that dog's racist. He's like, no, he's not racist. Like,
No.
but he will be now if you don't shake his hand. Which I thought a pretty funny line. Yeah, so they're like looking around the house trying to look for the car keys. And they go into the bedroom. First of all, he opens the top drawer.
Yeah, he opens the top drawer and finds some panties and lingerie and stuff, which Cage, in the most cagey way possible, just like takes just a handful of lingerie and just Huh.
And they said, oh, it doesn't look like any car keys are in there. And then,
even more so.
yeah, like the next drawer they look at, and top drawer, is like a pristine, like layout, like display of dildos, butt plugs, whatever you could want, they got it. These people are kinky freaks.
And then you look in the cupboard underneath that.
Yeah, and there's just like tons of bondage gear. There's like whips and chains and like kind of gimp masks and stuff like that. To which Andrew has an amazing line, which is just like your typical, like, you'd imagine it in a sitcom of like, wah, 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 at the end of it, which is like, white people. Almost like should have like been followed with like a wink to the camera.
Yeah.
And, like a little nod. And like the circle coming in like the end of a Looney Tunes episode. And then like back down in the lounge they Amos finds like the butt of a joint and is smoking it in the ashtray. Like, yeah, one thing I wanted to say about this film is that, like, as much as it's like a comedy, it kind of has like, it's broken up with these kind of, I don't know, deep-ish conversations about race and about their like backgrounds and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
so like this brings up a whole thing where Cage's character offers Sam Jackson's character a bit of the joint, and he's all like, oh, you know, not every black guy does drugs and stuff like that. And then what was the lead in towards the
well, he tells a story then ends up with Cage telling a story about sea monkeys as
yeah,
well.
and he kind of goes on about like his whole like family background and saying about how like, you know, he wanted his family to be as happy as the ones who were on the front cover of the Sea Monkeys.
Yeah,
adverts,
and
which
if
is
you know,
quite
but as
filthy.
if you know real sea monkeys, guy, they're horrible. They're disgusting. They're like amoebas. They're like people's real families. I've got a lovely family. I'm joking. Doing it for comedy effect.
But yeah, and then
he then radios the cops, and
yes.
again, like there's some killer lines from Cage in this because they're kind of like saying like you should come out and stuff like that, like yeah, come out of the house, and he just like out of nowhere is like, what if I said we're not in the house? It's just like I would definitely there must be, if there is a compilation like video of clips for this, I will definitely post it on social media, guys, so keep up to date with
I'm surprised
that.
I haven't seen like any scenes from this in like all of those like just Cage compilations anyway.
Yeah, like Cage. Well, the most famous Cage compilation is obviously Cage loses his shit.
Yeah,
He doesn't really lose his shit in this. He's kind of like quite composed, like
yeah, he just had the odd moments here and there.
yeah, exactly, and but they're great. Like,
Yeah.
this is that's the thing. I've developed a love for Nicolas Cage. Like someone like just sort of like someone the other day on Twitter said to me like, "Oh, like you're Cage bashing." Or their words were, "You're bashing the one true God," which for those of you who don't know is like a subreddit group all about Nicolas Cage called One True God.
I didn't actually know this.
Yeah, I'm an active member myself.
Nice.
But yeah, and I had to kind of explain to him that like, well, I just said like I'm not trying to bash anyone with these. Like I'm just like,
you're giving your honest opinion.
yeah, films are absurd anyway. Like the concept of films are absurd anyway. And like I started this whole thing out of like intrigue and like kind of a love of films, whether they be good or bad. Like, yeah, I fucking love all the Fast and Furious films. Yeah. Not a lot of people do. I love bad films.
Yeah, they're just nuts.
so like, yeah, but yeah, just kind of wanted to get that point out there. That, like, obviously, yeah, I'm not like when I'm talking about Nicolas Cage in these ways, it's not coming from like he's a shit actor.
Yeah, it's not a negative
No,
thing.
these films, they like this is proof that it is he's fun. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't take himself too seriously, and he's carved out a niche for himself, and you cannot knock the guy for that.
No.
Yeah, so Andrew then tells Amos a story about his dad, about like how his dad didn't want him to be like the other. Yeah, because it's kind of brought up because Amos says to him, "I bet you've got like a white wife."
Yeah.
And he's like kind of explaining himself of how he came from like a very well off background, but like his dad was an accountant. His dad before him was an accountant. It was kind of expected of him to go to college and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's a whole thing also about like how when Andrew did try to be a little bit more within like that kind of culture and whatnot, his dad washed his mouth out with soap.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like because his dad wanted kind of like the best for him.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's kind of that weird thing. Like this film, as I said, it's kind of odd tonally because it does have these moments like of kind of slapstick and outlandish comedy, but then these kind of like almost tender moments of kind of actual race issues in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like,
which I kind of appreciate. About the film.
Race and class issues. Yeah.
Because the film is very aware of the subject that it's tackling, and I guess it's trying to show that like they're not trying to take it too lightly. They're just like we do know that this is a serious issue, and we want to actually light upon it.
So what does our main man Amos do? Orders a pizza. That's what you do.
Of course.
That's what you do. He didn't go to pizza earlier. Which there is a brilliant actual throwback to that film when he is when the chief gives him the plan. Like he's leaving the police station,
and you see the girl actually going into police station with the pizza in hand.
Yeah. And he kind of like gives a little wry smile, and you see like I don't think he necessarily needed this character like quirk at all, but he has a gold tooth.
Yeah.
And it's like, how could I love Cage anymore? Give the man a gold tooth. At this point, though, after the pizza has been ordered, the busybodies, as I call them, or as he thinks their name is the Rommels, doesn't he? He's
because that's the name that's on the dog, isn't it?
Yeah, which I think the dog's name must be Rommel.
Yeah.
But they come home, and what do you know? He's back up to 3 hostages as opposed to the original one. Then he got 2, but then that one is now in a house on his own, so is he technically a hostage? Probably not. Tries to get the car keys off of Mr. and Mrs. Rommel.
Yep.
They're not having it. And like this like kind of not bugged me in a way, but obviously it's supposed to be like a hostage situation. Nobody seems to take him seriously whatsoever.
No, it's like shotgun in hand and everything, and he's like, nope.
Yeah, they're sat in the back of the car. He's trying to get the key. He's trying to find the keys off of them, and they're kind of playing like a kind of childish game of he's trying to open the door,
and they just keep locking the door.
Yeah. And it's just like
even Sam Jackson's getting pissed off of it as well.
Yeah, it's like the man's got a fucking shotgun.
Yeah, like don't fuck about.
Yeah, exactly. Don't fuck around. Fucking yeah. And whilst this is happening, the chief manages to slip free of like being taped into a chair.
Yep. Stepping on broken glass, falling down the stairs.
Yeah, like this film is like somewhere like I don't know. It's tonally. I would liken it as being somewhere between The Breakfast Club and Home Alone.
Yeah,
I don't know. With Police Academy chucked in there, like it's like. It's a melange of
with some odd like racial stereotype and commentary in there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So he gets free. He speaks to Amos on the radio. You realise then that like, still he doesn't. He still thinks that he's in the house that he's just come out of.
Yeah.
Nobody realises yet that they're actually at the Gilman's house.
Yeah. But Cage thinks that they're at the Gilman's house now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cage thinks they're now at that house because he's like, oh, we're outside, we're coming to get you.
Yeah.
They're still at the OG house.
Yeah.
They're still at, like, Sterling's house.
Yeah.
Like, he's none the wiser, though. It turns out as well that Cage had taken the tape off of the chief because the chief had taken it off of the reporter because he realised that there's incriminating stuff on there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of here where you realise that the Gilmans are what they are, because he keeps calling them the Rommels, and he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know why you keep calling me that. Like, that's not my name. It's Gilman, which like leads Amos to be like, oh, that's the name on this tape.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, what's on there? Like, and they're not taking him seriously. The man has a shotgun in his hand. They're kind of tackle him.
Yeah, he's trying to like wrestle the tape off of him and whatnot, and it's just like, the man has a shotgun.
But they say, like, he says to them, like, he's saying, like, what's on the tape? What's on the tape? He's like, is it something kinky? Again, another amazing delivery. Like, it's not just the line itself; it's the way it's delivered. That's what I love about this. Like, it's a first class courier.
Yeah.
It's no Hermes or Yodel delivery.
No.
You're getting top notch delivery from Nicolas Cage, and we fucking love it. But yeah, the tape is revealed, and the Gilmans are fucking racist. They're like bottom of the barrel people.
Yeah. To which obviously pisses off Andrew.
Yeah,
even
definitely.
more so.
And he kind of realises that, like, what the plan was. Like, he realises their plan was to cover up the fact that the chief is incompetent, and obviously they'd racially profiled him from the get-go.
Yeah.
And whilst this happens, a police pizza girl turns up.
Yep.
And things get
Cage finally gets his pizza.
weird.
Yeah, because how old would you say this girl is?
Like 15, 16 tops.
Yeah, like doesn't she even say that she's like at school or something and she's just doing pizza during the summer?
Yeah, and he's just like, he's flirting with her, he's trying to get her to come to Canada with him. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, it just took a real weird turn for a couple of minutes there.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on. Amos ties up the Gilmans with their bondage gear, which I thought was a really good moment. Oh yeah, and it's at the moment that the pizza girl turns up that they realise that the police aren't outside the house.
Yep.
That they're scot-free, basically. Like, nobody's looking for them.
No.
The police storm the OG house as well, don't they? Like,
yeah.
But one of the guys goes in early trying to be some kind of saviour Rambo.
Yeah, like he's blacked his face up again as well. Like,
he ends up like getting. Did they throw a grenade in, or is
it was a grenade? Yeah, and like it does. Like that's the thing. Like,
that's nothing to him.
No, because it's like, you know, late 80s, early 90s. So, you know, they don't kill people, Petros, you know, they just blow a bit of smoke in their face, and that's it.
He's kind of sort of hides under a bed, like the police come in full on, like smashing the place.
SWAT teams and everything, yeah.
Find him.
Also, by the way, while all this has been going on, the interrogator has been... No, sorry, not the interrogator. The negotiator has been on the phone to what he thought was Amos the entire time. Yeah. And it's pretty much just been telling the guy, like, his life story. Just, like, going on about how, like, when he was a kid, he wanted a pony. Yeah. And all this kind of stuff. It's brilliant.
And then, like, they storm in. They catch this guy that obviously they think is Amos.
Yeah.
And the chief just goes along with it because he's like, I don't want him to find out at this point that I'm an incompetent arsehole.
Yeah.
Like, I've been all the way through. So they just go with it. They say, that's definitely him.
Yeah.
Then Amos finally gets the keys. Oh, yeah, and we at this point as well, we see a ferry ride journey of the evangelical church members, all coming over.
All singing.
They've got They've got fiery pikes. Like they're full on. They are meaning business.
Yep.
Yeah. So Amos gets the keys. And then says to Andrew that they've got to stay together, that they're a couple of gangsters. Like,
yeah.
That's it. We're in it together. We've kind of... Yeah, we've gone past the point of... I think it's the chief says as well that he's going to get Andrew done for attempted murder for the frying pan around the face.
Yep.
So obviously now they're both kind of... Yeah,
they're both on the run.
Yeah, they're both on the run. But then Andrew offends Amos because he says to him, like, "You're just a nickel and dime criminal."
Yeah.
Like, and to get back at him, he says, "Well, you're the worst. You're the worst black man I've ever met."
Or
like,
even saying you're the whitest black man I've ever met.
Whitest.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not mean to. I wrote worst. I did not mean that. Like, I had the sentiment of, like, you are, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm not trying, oh God. And then they end up, talk about race, and things get a bit like two white guys.
Oh God. Right, so...
they end up rucking on, like, they end up rucking all over the place.
They have a scuffle, yeah.
Rolling around on the grass.
Yeah.
Amos is like, I got hay fever. Oh, freshly cut grass. And Andrew gets pulls the shotgun on him.
Yeah.
And I whilst watching the film, I turned around to Ethan and said, like, the music, it's really nice. It's really tender and sweet. It's kind of like an instrumental version of "You've Got a Friend in Me" from the Toy Story soundtrack, but all the while he's got a gun pointed at someone's fucking head. I just didn't I didn't get it. Like,
no, I swear there was a line that Sam Jackson says as well, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's a really. I found it to be like quite a weird moment.
Yeah,
and the police then call in like some weird hillbilly as well, with a couple of bloodhounds.
Yeah, who comes out of just nowhere?
Yeah.
Just like some full on like hillbilly characters, like
stereotypical kind of like beaten up old hat with like some dungarees on and like a red t-shirt, and like these two
with a couple of bloodhounds. Just...
it looks like straight out of like a animated Disney film. Yeah, like Aristocats or something like that. Or like I kept thinking The Rescuers, like down in the bayou, like, hey, come on, boys. And then the evangelical church members all turn up and kind of like
demanding Andrew's, like
they're saying like we want Sterling, like they're saying like, where's Brother Sterling? They're going mental. They're kind of like having a bit of friction with the police, like they're saying, we want Brother Sterling. They say like he's not here, and like there's like an argument. There's obviously more misconceptions about what people mean. We don't want you people here, which obviously like sounds racist, but it's like, I think it's more to do with like they just don't want people. They end up kind of scuffling and like
they just like just storm them.
Those weird fiery like torches that they were carrying definitely came into play here because they end up setting light to some curtains and the house is now on fire, as if poor Andrew's night couldn't get any worse. Amos tries to leave. He takes the car. Andrew's just kind of like said, that's it, I'm not going, like, I'm like, gonna stay as smokes.
Yeah, didn't he say just like, fuck it, I'm going home?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, exactly. The pizza girl as well, Amos had said to her, like, here's the tape, please give it to a reporter. Yeah. They'll know what to do with it.
And she, funnily enough, ends up giving it back to the freelance reporter, Mr. Old Eyebrows.
Yeah, Eyebrows, which she only knew that he was a reporter because the sun visor of his car, he has a like
Press sticker.
yeah, like a kind of laminated like.
It's almost like the 90s version of, you remember like in those old like either like 50s or 60s like pictures or even like TV shows from back then, like you have like, you know, like the press, they'd be wearing like their trilbies or their fedoras and have a little press sticker in the side of it. So so like this is like the early 90s version of that.
Hey, I work for the press, boys.
Right.
Andrew's like just walk home though doesn't go smoothly because the bloodhounds
catch up with him.
Are looking for him. They fucking chasing him like all the way through some like lovely meadows. Well, not so lovely. He's getting chased through the bloodhounds and some weird hillbilly. But
fortunately enough, though, Amos does end up coming across this and manages to veer the bloodhounds in a kind of direction. Just like ends up circling them, really. Doesn't he? Yeah.
But he gets Andrew into the car, and they kind of like everything's calm, and then the bloodhounds. He has like Andrew has this amazing idea because they've got the chief's badge.
Yeah.
And they call over the bloodhounds. They sniff the scent, going straight after him. He's doing like a press conference.
Yeah.
Saying like, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. The bloodhounds are coming.
Sorry, there was one line in there that I remember as well. Them saying about like, oh, but what actually happened to Andrew Sterling? And he was just sort of like, oh no, I'm so happy that he's living on the island.
Yeah.
Like completely evades the question, and comes off as like covering up racism almost. And it's just like.
But like, and at this moment, old Eyebrows comes out with the videotape like. Oh, Chief, wouldn't the press like to see this videotape? He's getting interviewed. It kind of does this weird, like, when the bloodhounds kind of catch up with the commissioner, like this fade. Like,
there was this like really slow motion-y kind of thing going on. It's just like, oh, I guess that's the kind of end of that then.
Yeah. Kind of fade. You don't see him really get his comeuppance, but obviously it is implied. And then we get the next day with, it looks like just Amos on his own to begin with, like getting on the ferry out or off of the island, and you see him like drive past the car with a black lady who says, "Oh yeah, I'm Mrs.
Sterling,
Andrew Sterling. Yeah, I'm. Don't worry, I've got a ticket. I've got a reservation here." And then like he kind of like hears this, and it's like, oh, like.
This is
cool.
your cue.
Wakes up Andrew, who's actually in the back. He says, like, here you go, like, here's, like, be reunited with your wife. They kind of have, like, a little moment as well where, like, earlier on in the film, Amos had stolen his watch.
Yeah, I don't actually remember that, weirdly enough.
I don't actually remember. I remember him mentioning the watch, but... Yeah, I don't remember him stealing it. I don't know. Maybe that's edited out. Maybe, I don't know. I'll probably have to watch it again at some point. Figure that out. Fine tooth comb. Yeah. And he says to him, like, he says, you can keep it.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? And he's like, and then they kind of, Amos calls him bro.
Yeah.
Which has been a point of contention earlier on in the film because he was like, don't call me brother, you're not my brother. Like, the racial tension high. He's like, don't worry about it, brother. And then it's just so lovely. Amos drives off to Canada and then Q.
The police chief is running for commissioner, but if I get out of this, chief, I'm getting ya. Chief needs a cover-up plan, cause he heard I'm famous. Call a crazy white boy, name was Amos. I thought Amos was a burglar, but when he saw me, he said I never heard of ya. He couldn't tell north from south, but Amos was my only way out of this suburban night,
That was Suburban Nightmare by Sir fucking Mix-a-Lot. What did you think of that song? Like, I don't think they've done that in films in so long, where he essentially
raps the plot
of the film.
Yeah, like I really can't remember the last time that happened. Like, it was a big trope in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like, what was it like? Turtles. I remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, you got the ninja rap and stuff like that,
yeah,
haven't
and
you?
then
Yeah.
you've got like Adam's Family, like Adam's Family Values has got
Oh my
like
god,
a
yeah,
rap.
they had a rap song as well. Who did? Like, there was someone quite notable who did that as well. I swear. By
Will
God.
Smith? No, I don't think it was Will Smith.
No, it wasn't Will Smith.
Will Smith did that. How was it? Nightmare on My Street. Have you ever heard that? Like the.
No, I haven't actually.
It's like a kind of Nightmare on Elm Street style like rap song he did, which is hilarious. Like,
Oh man, was that like? Is this like early Will Smith?
yeah,
or-
yeah. So it's like you know
like Fresh Prince kind of era.
Yeah, yeah, like
Oh, wow.
helping my mum and dad do the dishes, like that Will Smith era. Yeah, it's
I
like
need to hear this.
done to the original like Nightmare on Elm Street like theme with some terrible drums on it. It's fucking great. So like, yeah, if you guys don't want to watch this film, you can always just look on YouTube for Sir Mix-a-Lot's
Suburban Nightmare.
Yeah, suburban, not even suburban, which is how the word is spelt and pronounced. No, he's changed the spelling to suburban.
Yeah.
No fucking explanation.
Like, I think even Suburban Nightmare would still work in context of the song as well. Like, I mean, the way that it's still
Yeah,
said,
like,
like,
yeah.
yeah. Although, I was going to say one thing you did forget to say at the end, though. You did say that, like, you know, Nicolas Cage, you know, goes off to Canada. Kind of goes the wrong way a bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's mentioned in the song as well. It's like, he doesn't know his north from south. Like, it's fucking nuts. Yeah, like, but... So, guys, you've heard, like, what we have to say about this film.
Yeah.
Now it's time to see what people who actually know what they're talking about have to say about it. So, the 3 scores we've got this week, obviously, I always go on what Google gives me as the top 3 scores. So, we're in for a treat this week, because we have IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and the late, great Roger Ebert is providing us with a score this week.
Who, funnily enough, one of the
Mr. Gilman.
Yeah, Mr. Gilman looks quite a lot like Roger Ebert.
So let's see if Roger Ebert liked that.
Yeah.
So IMDb, how much you reckon him? Like, what do you reckon? What do you reckon? People like actual credible people think about this film, not a couple of idiots.
I kind of wonder because, like, I mean, I feel like it somewhat succeeded in what it tried to do and whatnot. I guess I'd guess that IMDb would give it about like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, 5.5.
Ah,
so
fair enough. Okay then.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
How do you reckon that's going?
I don't know, man. That's probably going to end up being lower, I guess.
Yeah,
but...
21%.
Hey!
Yep,
I feel that's quite unfair.
And Roger Ebert classic score out of 4.
Out of 4, I'm going to say a 2.
2.5.
Hey!
So,
I'll give it that.
yeah, so not too bad. Obviously,
Yeah.
I think we probably enjoyed it a lot more than these people did. But what do they know?
Yeah.
They're idiots. They're not. We're the idiots. I don't know. I think part of my thingy was I'm paying $7.99 for this. I'm gonna fucking enjoy it whether I like it or not. Right. So yeah. So if anyone wants to, like, I don't know, if anyone wants to stalk you online, Ethan, what's the best way to do it? Like,
So I'd personally say either, like, follow me on Twitter or Instagram. I believe both my handles on those are Ethan_Valentine.
nice.
And Twitter, I've been trying to update it a little bit more recently. I just chat shit about what's going on in the world. And then Instagram, now and again I post pictures of art and shit, and that's about it.
Yeah, but like, Ethan always like puts up really nice like opinions on, like, really heartfelt opinions on films and stuff like that, which I always look at and go like, oh, like that's really, like, it's good to see someone who talks about, like, not just this film is good, this film is bad, like, I don't know if it has like any emotional value or like what you took from it, which is always good, like, good to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess my most recent post was definitely about that, which was about the most recent Wonder Woman film, which I'd highly recommend going to see if you're, if you feel kind of a bit down about the current climate of the world and whatnot. There's been a lot of shit going on. This is definitely a film that I think would...
Yeah, by the time this one goes out, like, hopefully things have got better. We're recording this on the 4th of June and won't be released for like 2 or 3 weeks, so we could be living in a whole new world.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it was great. Obviously, I've been Petros Patsilivus.
I've been Ethan Valentine O'Connell.
We've been Caged In. You've been Rad. Bye!
Bye!
Fucking dope.